Hello everyone, this is Professor Kuehn. In my previous few lectures, I talked about the 4 stories that will help us remember the configuration of some of the most important constellations in the sky. In the past 3 lectures, I've talked about 3 of these stories. The first one being Orion's hunting party, the second being a damsel in distress, the third being a swan comes upon a battle, and now for this lecture I want to talk about the last of the 4 stories, a queen goes fishing. So let's go ahead and start looking at this story. The queen goes fishing. Cygnus had an interesting story, but the lovely queen that is chasing the bird has a story to tell too. Cassiopeia, the queen, reigns over a relatively empty part of the sky. Beneath her are the great square and the southern fish. We can think of the great square as a net that she is dropping in the water to catch the fish. It's hard to imagine the shape of a queen from the stars that are located in Cassiopeia. Some people say the constellation actually represents her royal throne, consisting of a back, armrest, and seat. Like the Big Dipper, Cassiopeia does not have any first-order magnitude stars, but is formed by 5 equally bright stars. The Great Square fills the space below Cassiopeia. The 4 stars that form the square are of similar brightness, and stand far enough apart from other stars that you won't mistake which stars are forming the square. The Great Square is straight below one arm of Cassiopeia's W shape. If you follow the edge of the square continuing south, you can find Fomalhaut in the southern fish. The Great Square is actually an asterism, formed by 2 adjoining constellations, Pegasus and Andromeda. You might recall another asterism we came upon once before was the Big Dipper. An asterism, as I mentioned, is a cluster of stars that stands out but is not one of the 88 official constellations. The Great Square consists of the star that marks Andromeda's head and 3 stars that form the wing of Pegasus. Andromeda is the chained lady of Greek mythology. Her brightest star is her head, which is also one corner of the Great Square. Pegasus is the winged horse of Greek mythology. 3 of its brightest stars form a wing, which is 3/4 of the Great Square. On medium-quality viewing nights, you can see the Great Square and a few stars of Pegasus and Andromeda leading off from the corners of the square. It takes a darker night to make out the horse and the lady. Piscis austrinus, the southern fish, swims beneath Cassiopeia low on the southern horizon. You can imagine the queen's net, the Great Square, dropping to catch him. It's anyone's guess as to whether the net will drop fast enough to snare the fish. The fish's sole bright star, Fomalhaut, is sometimes called the lonely star of autumn because it is the only bright star in the sky when it is out. Fomalhaut marks the mouth of the fish. Lower order stars form the fish's body and tail fin. You won't usually notice any stars of the fish other than number 13, Fomalhaut. This then concludes our story of The Queen Goes Fishing and completes our 4 stories. Now you can step outside and always find a constellation that you know. Whichever guideposts are visible will lead you to all the surrounding constellations and stars. Stay tuned for an even deeper understanding of how the stars move.